I'm 44 years old, so I have the authority to speak to people that are over 40. And if you're over 40 and you're looking at the writing on the wall, I want to give you an alternative. I want to help you reimagine your life because right now you're at a stage in your life where you want to coast the last 20 years of your life into retirement so you can collect your social security and just enjoy the best years of your life, or at least what you were told were the best years of your life. You've already, leveled up your skills, you've got established in a career path, and you have all these things going, but you may be asking yourself, why should I, being over 40, why should I take this seriously? And if I don't, what are the consequences? Okay, I was recently watching a podcast where an owner of a software company openly admitted that 20% of his workforce has been automated by AI. So what that is saying is that the potential for automation in the workforce could be a 20% at this point in time. Maybe even more. Maybe he just doesn't have everything that he needs, or maybe he just hasn't fully expanded, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, at least 20% of the workforce right now could be automated. What do those people do when their job is no longer done by AI? We're talking about college educated people. We're talking about accountants. We're talking about bookkeepers. We're talking about administrative. We're talking about HR. We're talking about sales. We're talking about content creation. We're talking about marketing. We're talking about all these different departments. What would normally be a good job, something that you would aspire to get to, those are going away and they're being automated by AI. And way back when, I think probably 2017, 2018, no, it's probably about 2018, living in Dallas at the time, I was the McDonald's that was right next to us only had two employees. The rest of it was automated. This is something that McDonald's is pushing out. So not only are the good jobs going away, but now even the low skill, no skill jobs are going away. Right now, things like landscaping and construction and things like that are safe, but for how long? So you have an opportunity in life at this point. You've got another 20 years left in the workforce. What do you do? Do you think that you can survive this? And, a lot of people I know during the 2008 crash that were, 55 and older, they just kind of sit there and you either got on Social Security early, or they just sit there and those were a lot of the 99 weekers and things like that. You had people just like, I'm too old and I don't have the energy or the want or desire to retool myself. Well, here's the thing though. This is what's going on now is a completely different opportunity. Not only will your industry be completely automated over the next few years, okay? So if you're 40 years old, by the time you're 45, which means you still got another 20 years in the workforce, or you're 45 now and you'll be 50 in 5 years, your job between now and the next 5 years has a high likelihood of being automated by artificial intelligence. Okay, you have large companies that are taking this up and starting to integrate it into their system, and this is part of the mass layoffs that we're starting to see. And instead of when they have an opening, after they've quiet fired somebody, after they have an opening, they just don't fill it. They just open a seat for AI and just expand its use within the company. Okay, so this is what you have to look forward to. And so you've got to ask yourself a question. Do you want to sit there and beg the government for benefits? And if you're begging for benefits, how many other people? If 20% of the workforce were all of a sudden collecting unemployment, social security, or something like that, and they had to collect it for a long period of time because they weren't able to be retooled just because of age and whatever. Okay, so now you have a large section that is going to be permanently on the government dole. Okay, this is going to open up the realm for universal basic income as time goes along. So, as a person who is above 40, who's really thinking about what the future holds for you, do you want to be on something like UBI? Okay, you think it's going to be fun, but as somebody who's been homeless, I mean, it's just a step above homelessness. I mean, Do you really want that menial existence? I had many people tell me that I should collect Social Security, and I said no. It limits my income. It limits my ability to grow and flourish. And I know that one day I may make enough to where there's no need for Social Security, and I have a couple of times in my life. Okay, and so from my perspective, I would never want to be on something like that. This is why 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago now, I decided to delve into the digital economy the easiest way I knew how. Being homeless, being on the road, only having a cell phone and data and all this other stuff. And I'm lucky. When I went through my divorce, my old man said he wanted to make sure that he always had contact with me. So he made sure that I have a phone so that he can keep in communication with me. And then that allows me to leverage that phone. But if I wanted to, I could go get a free phone and I could be stuck in an urban city where I am stuck at the library getting Wi-Fi signal. But it doesn't matter. I want to survive more than just the bare minimum. And you should want to too. Okay. So, with this being said, what I'm asking you to do is to tear down those barriers and have a realistic understanding of what's going on. Quit putting your blinders on. Quit diluting it. Quit being a stubborn, grumpy asshole. Okay? This is not the time. This is not the place. Put on your big boy pants. It's time to learn something new. Okay? Because this is going to be about your survival. There are easy things that you can do. Okay? Do you like taking pictures? Turn them into photographs. Turn them into like a digital bundles. Turn them into postcards. Turn them into posters. Just tell people about it, and if they like your pictures and if they like what it is, the designs that you do, because you got creative, that's a few extra bucks in your pocket. How hard was that to learn how to go to a website and upload something if you don't already know how to do that? Okay, this is something that you as an individual should really, if it were me and I were really looking back at this, I would be ashamed of myself if I could make money that easy and not do it. And in some ways I kind of am, because I had the opportunity to make money online way before, and I chose not to for probably a lot of the same reasons why you're choosing not to. And I'm telling you, as somebody who did one way and then the other, the way that the world is going is you can't have an employee centered business. The brick and mortar businesses are going away. If you are not a master with artificial intelligence, and it's not that hard, okay, right now it's in its infancy. If how long did it take you to learn your phone? How long did it take you to learn how to do all the different things you could do on your phone? If you look back 10 years ago when you've got your first smartphone versus now, ask yourself a question. It's night and day, right? Okay. Well, the same thing is going to be with artificial intelligence. But the thing is, you better get in before you have to, because sometimes when your choice is made for you, you don't like the choices that are made. Okay, this is my plea. This is why I've been homeless for the last 2 years. And my plea with you guys that are following and watching through to the very end is that you will follow me along in this next chapter of my journey. What I'm working on right now is a 4-part series that will allow me to tie everything together. My last 2 years of being homeless, plus being a homesteader, plus being in the digital economy, which therefore makes me a digital homesteader. Okay, it's four series. It's 4 topics. Excuse me. It's going to be 4 playlists with 20 videos each in them that are going to be specifically on preparing for homelessness, getting into the digital economy when you are homeless, understanding how to do the digital economy even if you're not homeless and you just want to prepare, and then also talking about being a digital homesteader, because eventually if you're making money online and all you need is a good signal, and with Starlink, I mean, you could this opens up so many different opportunities. You're no longer tied to an office building. You're no longer tied to a job site or an hourly wage, because this will give you the freedom to be able to realize those goals if you're willing to step outside of your comfort zone and your little box that you're in, and just feel uncomfortable for a while. It's okay. You'll get through it. All right. And some of you may be upset with me over this, and that was not my intent. My intent is to light a fire under your ass because you've got about 2 years until your choice is made for you. And by then, your job may have already been automated. Who knows? Okay. So as an American talking to my fellow Americans, I want to see you succeed. I want to see you thrive. I don't want you to have to experience what homelessness has to offer. Not if it's against your will, not if it's not your choice, not if it's something that you don't want. If it's something that's by choice, like I've done several times in my life, that's fine. You know what you're getting into. But if it's not by choice and it's by circumstances, I would hate to see you end up in that situation. That's why I'm asking you, follow me, subscribe, um, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and if you're gonna follow me along, just down in the comments, just say I'm in. I'm just curious how many of you not only made it to the end, but want to get out of your comfort zone and actually move in a better direction that may give you more of a better quality of life. So thanks for being here. See you in the next one.